This is Richard Wolff for Democracy at Work with another Wolff Responds. I want to talk about the shifting political landscape in the United States as it responds to, reacts to, accommodates economic changes that are fundamental. So let me begin with the latter and then work our way back to the politics. American capitalism is in the deepest of its crises, comparable only to the great crash of 1929 to 1941. Except this time we have not only a crash of our capitalist system, 20-odd million people unemployed, but we have a public health crisis at the same time. A nation that has 4% of the world's population mismanaged the COVID crisis so that we have 20% of the world's deaths from COVID. Unspeakable double crisis from which we have not yet emerged, nor are we likely anytime soon. Many adjustments have been made over the last 30 years to a shifting economic scene. Jobs leaving to go overseas. Jobs disappearing as they're replaced by computers, robots, and artificial intelligence. Wealth accumulating at the top as we live through one of the greatest redistributions of wealth in history. Wealth going from the bottom and the middle in the United States to the tippity top, producing people whose wealth rivals that of the ancient pharaohs in Egypt. Americans are suffering. What is happening is that the capitalism we knew, the capitalism that was dynamic and swinging upward over the last century before 1970 to 80, is now exhausted. It's on the way down. And with all the pluses of being on the capitalist economy on the way up, we are now experiencing the problems of a capitalist economy on the way down. And chief among them is the usage by those at the top of their positions as corporate CEOs, as owners of huge blocks of stocks, to make sure that as the economy has trouble, as the economy shrinks relative to the world economy, as new competitors become serious competitors, think China, that they hold on to theirs, that the burden, the cost, the pain of being on the downturn is shifted from the top to everybody else. And Americans are hurting as they experience that. Their wages don't rise anymore, so they can't afford the American dream on their wages, so they have to go into massive debts for their homes, for their cars, for their credit card, for their student loans. They're becoming desperate. Job futures for those kids with the loans, poor. They'll never pay it back. The jobs aren't there. The income isn't there. And Americans are freaked out. They weren't told to expect this. They worked hard. They studied hard. They thought they were going to be okay. And so they want to know what happened. What went wrong? And the minute people are in that situation, and the minute the economic vice is closing in on them, they become vulnerable to any political hustler with a scapegoat to sell. This one tells you it's the fault of the immigrants. That one tells you it's the fault of the Chinese. The next one tells you it's the Russians. The next one tells you it's our trading partners. They're cheating us. You get the picture? It's nationalism. Blaming outsiders, foreigners, people other than us for really sticking it to us. And so we want a robust foreign policy. We want to smack the foreign evil. Trump hits them with a trade war. Trump hits them with tariffs. Biden hits them with sanctions. You get the picture? blaming the foreigner, separating immigrant kids from their parents at the border. Meanness spreads as people become desperate. And those people have captured the Republican Party. That's what Trump's election signaled. That's what the CPAC conference a few days ago reaffirmed. They aren't going to form their own party. They don't need to. They have one. And the Republican Party is energized by the arrival of whom? People who used to be Democrats. People who expected the Democratic Party to continue to provide for working people in the heroic, magnificent way that it did for so many, not all, during the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. From Social Security to Medicare, to better jobs, to better union contracts with employers, to subsidized educational programs, and so on. But people discovered that the Democrats couldn't keep delivering the goodies after the 1970s. There were fewer goodies, and all the folks at the top were grabbing them for themselves. The folks at the top had more profits by moving jobs to China, and they did. Did that wreck your community? Did that drive the population of Detroit from 2 million in 1970 to 700,000 today, literally wrecking the showpiece of American capitalism? You bet. And the mass of people then discovered that the Democratic Party not only couldn't keep the goodies growing, they couldn't even protect the goodies that had been achieved in the past. Things were taken away. Jobs paid less. As employers shifted workers from employee to gig status, the benefits stopped being available. Everyone is hurting. And some Democrats are so angry at being betrayed by the party that promised them to keep delivering what it once did, that in their anger and their bitterness, they voted for Trump, and they will vote for conservatives. Unless and until the Democratic Party resumes being the party of working people. And that requires that you undo the last 40 years of redistributed wealth, just like the last 40 years undid the redistribution achieved in the New Deal. Anything short of that, and CPAC and Trump, either the same individuals or a new crop, will be in our near future. That's what the political realignment of America amounts to. This is Richard Wolff for Democracy at Work.